Welcome to Business Center Launch event and our session about Introduction to Audit File Export. My name is Alexander Totovic and I'm Program Manager in Business Central team responsible for legislation part. Okay, let's pass through our agenda for today. First, I want to introduce you about audit exports, what it means, how to use, where to use, why to use it all, and so. Then we'll pass through architecture of this functionality, and on the end, of course, how to use it, how to make a setup, how to use this in the practice. Okay, let's start with introduction. First, what is important to understand? Exporting general ledger or VAT data is a common requirement in many country regions, sometimes from audit houses, sometimes from governments, whatever, but what is important again to understand that required formats, however, can be different. We have some standards, but they are not 100% accepted from all countries. And because of that, we need to take care to provide different audit export in different countries. Okay, let's start. Audit reporting, as I just explained, is one part of digital reporting. And this is more and more required. Looking at some roadmaps from different countries, it should be mandatory probably in the next few years in almost all countries worldwide, if not all, but the most of countries. Currently, many countries require reporting specific financial data, different way, but this is already here. That means in many countries this is already required, but in some countries it will be required very soon. What Business Central already have? Business Central has SFT format. This is a standard audit file for taxes format, SFT as abbreviation, and it already exists in Norway as extension. And we already have or had SIE, this is standard import and export in Sweden. This is standard Swedish format. And we had it in earlier in Swedish localization, but as we decided to delocalize Swedish base app in this release, we decided to move this SIE from base app and to add to this audit file export. You will see how it looks like. There is not such a big differences, but this is mostly about different architecture and the localization process. What we need and what we expect more, new Danish Bookkeeping Act require SFT reporting, and it will be mandatory very soon. So it means we need to have common solution. We don't want to have different solution from country to country. As I more times as I many times said, we want to start step by step toward the localization. If something is in a common practice, why to have different apps, different base apps, if we can put all of them to one common application. And this is the reason why we decided to create this one common audit file export app. Okay, this is not only about Norway, Sweden, and Denmark. As I said, other countries, other file formats, other standards, and our intention is to fulfill all these requirements. Okay, the first release will cover SIE as a Swedish standard, as a process of delocalization, and SFT by OECD standard. Because there are some situations that SFT can be used, but using outside of OECD standard. But OECD standard is currently used in Norway, in Denmark, in Austria, and some other countries, and this is the most popular SFT standard worldwide. If you look at time frame, with Wave 1, but to be accurate from 10.22.1, we'll implement full SIE feature in audit file export extension. And in next 2-3 minors maximum, we will implement Danish SFT feature inside of this. That means it will be maximum in a period between Wave 1 and Wave 2. After that, from 2023, Wave 2 plus, release by release, we will start and continue, actually not start, we can continue adding new file format, actually new audit file formats to our audit file export extension. Okay, how does it work? First, what is the most important, if you want to use this feature, you need to enable through feature management. First, enable, and this is one direction process. When you enable, that's it. There is no way back. But this is not so problematic because it will not have a huge impact on some other processes. Then, during enabling, you will get wizard, and in this wizard, now it depends what you want to install by default. You can use more different file formats in the same database, that's okay. But in general, if you're in Sweden, probably you will use only SIE. If you are in Denmark or Norway, you will use only SFT. But there is no some specific problem that you cannot have more of them in the same time. That's okay. But if you want to have more of them, you cannot use wizard through enabling process. That means you need to go to wizard after that, but that's okay, it's not so complicated. Wizard will be the same. When you start the wizard, you need first to choose standard account type. You can choose no account type, that means no something specifically, but if you want standard chart of account, this is something what exists in many countries right now. Governments require specific standard chart of account. And that means you need to map your existing chart of account in the system with standard chart of account required by governments. You can choose if you want 4 to 4 digits, depends what you want. And there's some model with this RIU. The system will automatically update you with standard chart of account for this country. In this case, if you are using SIE, system will automatically update a standard chart of account for Sweden. If you use Danish SFT, system will automatically update Danish standard chart of account. Okay, when you update, when you choose which standard chart of account you will use, then you need to set up what will be your default accounting period. This is first accounting period you will start. You can enter manually starting date, ending date, but you can use here and just to choose one of accounting periods, and system will automatically populate the starting and end date. Then you need to continue mapping your existing chart of account with standard chart of account. I will explain later how it looks like. And then now depends what you will use. Currently both SIE and SFT, they have set up for standard dimensions. That means you can continue mapping your dimensions inside the system with what is required from government. And even more for SFT, there are some more requirements. You can map also tax and or VAT codes, official codes with the posting setups inside the Busy Central, and even to add responsible employee number because you need to use this when you report to government. When you look about architecture, first we need to start that this is extension. Audit file export is extension, and it will be available on App Source as well. Then inside the audit file export, there is no specific files. This is just functionality. This is just architecture. And then you need to enable additional small app just for formats. You can enable SIE app or SFT app and or in future some other apps. And how system will work? System actually work as a audit file export. We pass through a set of mapping rules in these small apps. And system with using these mapping rules, we find data inside the Busy Central. When find data, system will map based on these rules we created and converted data sent back to audit file export extension, and then from audit file export extension, system will start with exporting data. System can export data two ways. One is if there is not such a big amount of data you need to export, you can use direct export process, just click and system will finish downloading with this user session, and that's okay. But if there are millions of entries, it will be much more smart to use parallel processing batch job, and system will in background prepare file or set of files for exporting using batching jobs. Okay, let's look in the demo how it looks like in the practice. Okay, what I want you to show first, as I said, during setup, you had opportunity to set up mapping standard chart of account with your chart of account. And I already have here, you can see default is for SIE and default SFT for SFT because I enable both of them. But I'll just show how it looks like. If you look here in SIE, okay, you will see what is standard account type, accounting period, if you want to include incoming balance or not, so on. And then you can see here, I already mapped not all account because, just to explain why I did it, if you see this bolded, let's say green color, that means this account already has some balance. You can see each balance sheet already has some amount. If there is no, that means there is no any balance, with zero, and I didn't want to map, just to make it easier, but recommendation will be to map all your accounts. But just to show you, here I have more amounts mapped, and that's it. If you start from scratch, and if you don't use automatically this wizard setup, you can use initialized source for mapping. A system will fill in your data how to make a setup. And if I want to copy from one to another, I can just say, okay, copy from another mapping. And I can choose what I want, if I want to replace or not. That means there are a lot of things you can do. Okay, now I will not copy any mapping. I just wanted to show you how it looks like. Now what I want to show you more, I want to show you audit file export setup. And you can see here, I need to choose what I will use, because right now I have installed both SIE and SFT. And I cannot report both of them at the same time. I need to choose what I will do. And let's use SIE this time. Okay, I will use SIE. If I want later to report SFT, I just need first to open audit file export setup and to choose SFT. Okay, if I choose SIE, that's okay. Then what I want to show you more, again, audit export format setup, because I can export different file formats. You can see here by default, I have for SFT financial zip, and it will be archived as zip. For SIE, it will be si.se file. Again, you can configure as you want. If you want to change, you can change. This is on you. I just want to show you how you can do it, where you can do this. And then, but you will get automatically configure all these formats when you pass through wizard. And now we need to run audit file export documents. This is process. Okay, now it's empty. What I need to click new. And I need to make a setup for what I want to export. Okay, first I want to use for SIE, then general account mapping. If this is SIE, I have only one for SIE, another is for SFT. Okay, this default, if you remember, is automatically connected with your accounting period. And accounting period is the beginning to end 23rd. Okay, now I can add some header comment. And I can export currency information or not. Okay, file type. You can see, you can choose year and balance, periodic balances, object balances, transactions, depending what you want. What is your fiscal year? If you want to add some filters, then you can see here how the system is processing. And now this is important. If you remember, I explained you there are two different ways how you can process. If you have millions of entries, it will be a problem for your performances if you want to download out just now with the same time. But in this case, it will be the best to use parallel processing. Then You can see how to configure earliest start date time, maximum number of jobs, and so on. This is a part of configuration. If I want to use this user session, downloading, as I say, this is good if you don't have so many. If you have so many, don't use this user session, use parallel processing. Okay, I will not use parallel. Okay, I can see here lines, what will happen. Currently, if I'm okay with this configuration, what I need to do, I just need to click Start. Okay, since you didn't schedule the audit file generation, it will be generated immediately, which can take a while. Do you want to continue? And this is, the last warning. Again, if you know, now you remember, okay, yes, I have millions of entries. I will not continue with processing this. I can say no. But if I want, as this example I don't have so many entries, I will click just yes. Okay, system finished. And you can see here I have master data and general ledger entries completed. Now it depends. In SFT you can make a set of different formats because in SFT it can be required to have even inventory information, tax information, much more complicated files. But currently here this is not so complicated. I will just download files. Okay, you can hear from here. You can see how it looks like, how big it is, or just click download as a file. Here, that's good. I open. This is my document. You can see there's information. Even this is comment I added here. Now we can go down. This is how system created, exported, all transactions, and so on. Okay, that was everything about exporting SAE. Now, I want to encourage you to check all these resources because every time you can find something new about Business Central, not only about audit file expertise and other things. And join to Yammer group, you can go to BC Ideas to ask something from us. Or if you don't know exactly what you need in this moment, you can just go to aka.ms/bcall and you can find all links to all available public Business Central resources. Now I just want to say thank you for attending this session, and if you have some questions, I will be available for Q&A session. Thank you.